Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a first impression on a new product that's just come out on the market, and this is the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour full coverage foundation, and this is a new formula of the foundation that came out a couple of weeks ago, and I believe that the original foundation did come out a couple of years ago, but I didn't try that out just because I looked at it and I was like, I don't think that that's going to work on my skin. I do have very oily skin and it didn't really look like it was going to work for me. It looked like it was more for people that had dry skin. So this one does have a couple of claims and it looks like it's going to be really good, so hopefully it's going to hold up on my oils. So if you're new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and also make sure that you hit the bell icon just so you're notified every time I upload a new video. This foundation is available in the US and also the UK. In the US it retails for $11.99 and in the UK it retails for $9.99, and over here they only have 12 different shades, which isn't really that good. They do have a couple for fair skin tones and they have a couple for darker skin tones, but everything in between is really hard to match. I found it very hard for me to try and find my shade in this foundation. I put two different shades on my hand and they were very different. One was very pink, the other one was very warm and a lot darker than the other one, and when you think that that's just two shades, that one is above the other one, it's quite strange because that's a very big leap between them. And honestly, I don't really know if this foundation is going to match me. I think that the undertone is going to be a little bit different, but we're going to see how it goes anyway. It doesn't really have a lot of claims on the website. It's a Superstay 24-hour full coverage foundation, completely corrects visible flaws and imperfections, making it the perfect base for a high impact makeup look, relentless all day wear, lightweight high pigment coverage, flawless transformation, suitable for all skin types, soft matte, full coverage and all day wear up to 24 hours. Now the thing that scares me a little bit is the fact that it says it is suitable for all skin types and it's soft matte. Now if it was going to be good for my skin type, usually I'll go for something that is full coverage and matte and suitable specifically for oily combination skin, but I'm hoping this one's going to be quite good. I have seen a couple of first impressions on this and it looks like it does get quite oily during the day, and I'm hoping that I won't need to blot throughout the day. I am going to be going to work after this, so I'm going to zoom in and we're going to go ahead and see how it applies on the skin and how it looks. This is what my skin looks like naturally. I have a lot of blemishes, a lot of redness, I have very oily skin, especially on my forehead, down the sides of my nose and also my chin. Also a lot of foundations do come off on the sides of my face. I'm not too sure why, I don't know how to stop that, but that's just usually what happens. So I'm going to prime one side of my face using my favourite primer. This is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Mattifying Primer, and this is one that I use with all of my foundations. There's only one foundation I've tried where I don't need to use a primer, and that's the Estee Lauder Double Wear. That's my holy grail one. I don't need to use a primer with that and it stays on all day and it looks perfect all day as well. I'm going to apply this on one side of my face just so we can see what it looks like throughout the day and if the primer makes it any different. So I'm just going to pop it on this side. And as you can see, I have a lot of redness all over my skin. I have a lot of blemishes because at the moment I am breaking out. I don't know why, but it's just happening to me and it just looks really bad. So hopefully this foundation is going to cover up everything and I'm going to look perfect during the whole day. So the shade that I have is number 30 Sand, and usually with a foundation with the name Sand it does have warm undertones. This one I think is more neutral undertones. I do see a bit of pink in there. Hopefully it's going to match my neck, but I do think it's going to be a little bit too pink to match my neck. You also get 30 milliliters or 1 fluid ounce in this foundation, which is really good. It's a usual size for a normal foundation and I'm quite excited to try this out to see what it looks like. I don't know if the shade is going to match me because like I said, I had a very hard time trying to find my shade. The shade above this was very warm and then it was also very dark as well, and I was like, that is never going to match me. So hopefully this one's going to match almost perfectly. If it doesn't, we can just change it up with a bit of concealer and a bit of bronzer anyway. So the foundation comes with a pump, which is really good because a lot of foundations don't come with pumps, especially from the drugstore. I do love the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, and the American one doesn't come with a pump, so that's quite hard, and I'm not too sure why this sounds like this. Can you hear that? I don't know what's going on. Have I broke it? What's happened? But we're going to go ahead and see how it goes. So I'm going to apply this with my beauty blender. It doesn't sound the website the best way to apply it, but this is what I use for most of my foundations anyway. So I'm just going to try and pump. Oh, okay, so I've done 2 pumps on here. It looks like a medium consistency. It looks quite runny. So what I'm going to do is put it on one side of my face and we're going to see what it looks like and we're going to compare it to the other side. So I don't actually know if I've put too much on because I don't know how much this foundation that you're going to need, but we'll just go ahead and put this amount on. That is amazing coverage. I feel like I've put too much foundation on this side of my face because it looks like a little goes a very long way, so I'm going to probably have to spread some around to this side. So I'm just going to buff it in to this side and we'll see how it goes. We'll go. So this is one layer of the foundation and that coverage is just incredible. Just look at that. You can't see any redness, you can't see any blemishes, nothing like that. It blended out amazingly and this is incredible. It actually does match my neck quite okay. It is very pink compared to my neck, but I feel like we might be able to get away with it if you put a bit of bronzer on. But so far, it looks really good. As you can see, this side has a lot of blemishes, a lot of redness on there, and then this side has pretty much nothing on there. It looks perfect, it looks flawless. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put any more foundation on this side because I feel like I've got too much on this side, and I'll see how it looks after I've done one layer. So this is what one layer of the foundation looks like all over my face, and I really do like the way that this looks on my skin. It's full coverage, my skin looks flawless, I don't have any redness, I don't have any blemishes, and this is just an amazing foundation. Now I do start to see it sort of caking up on certain areas like on my chin and things like that, but I think that's probably because I did put a bit too much foundation on in the first place. But it looks really good. A little goes a very long way with this foundation, and my skin just looks really flawless. The problem is it doesn't match my neck. Actually on the camera it looks like it matches my neck, but in person it's completely wrong and the shade has a different undertone to the rest of my skin. So I think we're going to have to try and see what we can do with it, but I think the foundation looks really nice on the skin. It hasn't sunken into my pores. It feels like it's dry. It does feel like a matte formula now that it is dry, and it dried very, very quickly as well, so I feel like you probably would need to work very quickly with the foundation. So I'm not going to put on another layer because I feel like this looks perfect the way that it is, and I'm going to go ahead, do the rest of my makeup, and I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like. So I finished off the rest of my makeup and this is what it looks like, and I have to say that I absolutely love the way that the foundation looks on my skin. It looks flawless, it doesn't look cakey, the colour is really good as well. I don't have any blemishes, I don't have any redness, it's covered everything up and I absolutely love it so far. Hopefully it's going to stay like this throughout the rest of the day, but I have seen a couple of first impression videos where people do have oily skin and they've said that it's come off after a couple of hours, but because this does say 24-hour wear, hopefully it's going to last throughout the whole of the workday, and I have my fingers crossed that it's going to do really well and I'm not going to look like an oily mess when I finish this video. When I put the rest of my makeup products on, I was a little bit worried because when I started putting on the concealer, it did start to go a little bit cakey right here, but after I blended it out a little bit more and put a bit of powder on, it did look really good afterwards. And I decided I was going to put some cream bronze on my skin just to try and darken up the colour a little bit because it's very, very pink compared to my fake tan. On this video you can't even notice any difference. On this video it looks exactly the same, looks like a perfect match, but in person my face looks very pink and my neck looks quite warm, so it looks a little bit strange, but hopefully it's not going to oxidise and hopefully it's going to stay around this colour throughout the rest of the day. So it's now 10:30 in the morning. I'm going to go ahead and go to work, and then I'm going to come back and give you my final first impression review. Hi guys, so I'm back from work and it's now 7:30 in the evening. So I've had this foundation on for 9 hours now, and I feel like now is the best time for me to give you my final first impression. So looking at my skin at the moment, there are things that I like about the foundation and also things that I don't like about the foundation as well. So I'm not really too sure how I feel about it. I don't know if I like it and I don't know if I don't like it. So in normal light, it is quite dark at the moment, but in normal light, my skin actually looks quite good. You can't really see all of the patches on my face, but in these lights, in these bright lights, my skin looks really, really bad. And I don't like the way that it looks. I'm looking at my laptop at the moment because that's where my viewfinder is, and it doesn't look very good at all. So where I put my cream bronzer is basically all come off. So on my forehead right here, it's all come off and I'm really blotchy and it's all red. You can see my blemishes coming through and it just doesn't look very good. So it's done okay for 9 hours of wear. I mean, I'm not oily, I'm not shiny, and I don't feel like I look shiny either, and my skin doesn't feel really horrible or anything like that. But I have noticed that it's come off on the sides of my face. Also, it's really, really blotchy around my nose, on my forehead as well, and it just doesn't look very good. So when I first put this foundation on, I really liked it. I thought it looked really nice and flawless. It was full coverage and my skin just looked really nice and it didn't accentuate my pores either. And then when I put the rest of my makeup on, it looked quite okay. I did notice a bit of caking around here when I put my concealer on, but that was okay after a while. After I just blended it out, it was completely fine. Also, the colour was pretty okay as well, so it was a little bit off, but it was around the same colour as my neck. It was just a little bit too pinky. And then after about an hour, that's when all of the problems started. So I noticed that after about an hour, my face was bright orange. It was so much more yellow and orange than my neck. It got darker, it just oxidized like crazy, and I was just like, this doesn't even look like the same foundation at the moment. So the fact that it oxidised sort of made me realise that it wasn't really the best shade for me and it wasn't really the best foundation for me. One thing that surprised me about the foundation is that it says that it's suitable for all skin types, and I don't look oily, I don't look shiny, and I don't feel like I need to get the foundation off. I feel like I could just build it up a little bit more on the areas that have come off, and that's something that has surprised me because, like I said, I've seen loads of first impressions and some of the people have been oily after only a couple of hours, and this one did pretty well on my oils. I don't look that bad at all. I do feel like I could probably blot or powder a little bit more, but other than that it looks pretty okay on that end. So overall I'm not too sure how I feel about the foundation. There are things that I like and things that I don't like about it. For instance, I like the fact that my skin doesn't look oily even after 9 hours, and I also like the coverage of it as well and the fact that it covered up all of my redness and blemishes, but also I don't like the fact that it's come off in blotches. My skin looks like a mess at the moment, especially in these lights, and it didn't really work out very well on certain makeup products if you build it up over the top. So I am going to try out this foundation a little bit more and see how it goes. I think the only thing that's putting me off of trying out the foundation a few more times is the fact that it oxidizes like crazy. That's something that I really did not like. So if you do go ahead and get this foundation, definitely go a shade lighter because it's going to oxidize like crazy after about an hour. So this is my first impression of the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour full coverage foundation. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you've tried this foundation out and if you like it or if you don't, just comment down below to let me know and I'll be sure to check it out. And make sure that you give this video a very big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye!